Chris Sale is not the next Randy Johnson. Chris Sale is not the next Randy Johnson. Chris Sale is not the next Randy Johnson. Okay, I think Chris Sale is the next Randy Johnson. Hello, it is May 19th, 2024 on this fine Sunday. Mitchell just got back from smuggling a bunch of product out of the Philippines. How did that go?
You know, it was tough. Dulles International Airport, they don't let you help people bring in their luggage. They have to clear it through customs and then they get out, so it's a little difficult. You know, but we got the goods out. 2 huge boxes of products from the Philippines.
Yeah, so anybody listening, if you purchase anything in the next, I would say 3 months that says made in the Philippines, you know exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
In the Virginia, the greater, like Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, of course.
Yeah, maybe even in Maryland, who knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Sale.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's
get right into it.
There is one thing I do just want to note. So we normally record these episodes around 3:30, 4 o'clock on Sundays, pretty much after the Sunday day game. If there's a Sunday night game on ESPN, me and Mitchell aren't really waiting up until 10 o'clock to record. So this is a very bizarre circumstance where we're recording at 3:30 on a Sunday while the Braves still have 3 games left to play in their current series. This is the only time I will ever be able to say that. So I did just want to make a quick note just to appreciate the circumstance here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had this in my life now that you bring that up.
It's already
weird.
A wraparound series, which I don't remember the last time the Braves played a wraparound series.
I didn't
They're
think they did
so
these
rare.
anymore.
I knew they did. There was a couple I remember seeing last year. I mean, I hate them, to be honest, and apparently players don't like them either, according to Tom Glavine. But we had the rain out yesterday, and just because of the fact that tonight is Sunday night, they're on Sunday Night Baseball. They didn't do the doubleheader today. They're doing it Monday, which, man, if I was a player, I would be pissed right now because you go from, playing a noon game, getting out around, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, hopping on the evening flight, getting to Chicago around 10 or 11. Now you're looking to get into Chicago around 2 or 3, which is not fun. Like anybody who's ever taken a red eye before knows just the level of not stress, but there's like a very specific feeling about getting into an airport that late at night.
Thankfully, the Cubs are giving us 2 night games in Chicago, as opposed to their normal 3 day games.
They would have to move.
Thank you, Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, they would have to move that Tuesday night game back if it was originally scheduled for the afternoon. But yeah, thank you, Chicago. Maybe do that a little bit more. Just
night games are fun. Yeah.
Yeah, use those lights. You installed them in the 80s, and they haven't really been used that much since then.
I mean, you got to talk to the government there, who says, "Hey, no more than 30 day games a year, or else, we're gonna take away your stadium or something."
We're coming for you. We're coming for you, Chicago. But anyway, on to Chris Sale, and I was gonna say this too as a nice segue. Luckily our new format, we kind of figured that you've been paying attention to the Braves, and we want to get more down to, the analysis and, the breakdowns of players. But just a quick recap. Since the last time me and Mitchell talked, it was doom and gloom. It was pretty tough. We got swept by the Dodgers, but since then we took 2 games against the Red Sox. I still hate 2-game series. If I was the commissioner, that would be the first thing I would vote on. The only thing I would vote on if I was commissioner for a day. Abolish the 2-game series. It's stupid. Blackouts, we can deal with them. 2-game series, that's where I draw the line. And then we take 2 out of 3 games in New York against the Mets. We will briefly talk about the one loss. Also, that was on Sunday Night Baseball. 2 Sunday Night Baseball games in a row. Let's love hearing Carl Ravitch, man. That's my favorite. And we take 2 out of 3 games against Chicago at home, and then we lose the first game of the series against the Padres, and we will get to why we lost those 2 games as well. But anyway, headline here, Chris Sale has been awesome. When he was pitching against the Red Sox, me and Mitchell were messaging each other, and I don't know who had the idea, but one of us spit out the name
don't
Randy
be humble.
Johnson.
It was
What?
it was 100%. It was
Was it?
100% you. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
well, I think about
This is-
Randy
this is
Johnson.
you.
Okay, cool. Because I think about Randy
This is all
Johnson a
you.
lot.
And then
So-
I went, oh, I think you're right. 1,000% you're right.
So just let me peel off some of the stats that Chris Sale's put up in his last 5 starts. If you're sitting down, or if you're standing up, sit down, because
if
they're
you're
pretty
sitting
insane.
down, sit down.
Yeah, you're sitting down. Stay seated. Don't go anywhere. 1.41 ERA. That's the 8th best in that span. 11.53 K per 9, 5th best in that span. 0.84 walks per 9, 3rd best in the span. 26% hard hit rate, which is the best out of any player in that span. But most importantly, he has won every single one of his starts. And that really, at the end of the day, is all that matters. Wins, saves, and batting average. But the Braves do have Chris Sale through the 2026 season. It's a team option when they gave him that 2-year contract, which got me thinking, could the 35-year-old Chris Sale be the next Randy Johnson? Now let me explain here, because that is a bold claim. Randy Johnson was 35 years old when he signed his 5-year deal with Arizona, and Chris Sale and Randy Johnson's career arcs coming into the 35-year-old season looked a lot different. Randy Johnson came up as this dominant 6'10 lefty who had severe control problems, fairly healthy throughout his career. I think he missed like the 1996, 1997 season. He was out one of those years for the Mariners. And then he joins the Diamondbacks and becomes I would say puts up the best 5-year stretch any pitcher has ever had. I don't, that's not too ridiculous of a statement to me, at least. But I was looking at their numbers through the first 8 starts of their 35-year-old season. Chris Sale starting with the Braves, Randy Johnson starting with the Diamondbacks. Chris Sale, 2.54 ERA, 61 strikeouts in 49 2/3 innings. Randy Johnson, 3.50 ERA, 78 strikeouts in 61 2/3 innings. Now, let's not kid ourselves here. Chris Sale is not pitching over 200 innings a season, or 250 innings a season, the same way Randy Johnson was with the Diamondbacks. Pitcher usage is a lot different nowadays. It's a different game. But I was doing, a little stat head searching, and there's something that I found that I think if Chris Sale can match or come close to, I would safely say that he was able to do something that nobody but Randy Johnson was able to do. So I went on StatHead, and I looked up best ERA plus for a left-handed pitcher from ages 35 to 40. Now, Chris Sale is signed through with the option was at 35, 36, 37-year-old season. They could do something similar with what they've done with Charlie Morton, where they've given him, 1-year deals with mutual team options. It's not out of the question to say that Chris Sale could be pitching into his 40s. Again, he's not going to get the same bulk that Randy Johnson got. It's just a totally different game. It's not going to happen. But best ERA plus, 35 through 40-year-old season, was Randy Johnson, obviously. I mean, again, I would be surprised if I saw literally anybody else. With a 175 ERA plus, his K per 9 was 11.9. Chris Sale so far this season is 11.1. I think if Chris Sale is able to sustain, let's say, an 11 K per 9 while putting up around a 160 ERA plus, the only other pitcher to do this, by the way, to put up an above 160 ERA plus from ages 35 to 40 was Lefty Grove. I just look at pre-integration baseball differently. Weirdly enough, do you want to guess who the third pitcher on that list is? It's somebody that you definitely know.
We're doing left-handed pitchers.
Left-handed pitchers, best ERA plus 35 through 40-year-old season.
Is it like Jamie Moyer or something?
He's number 9. He last pitched, I'm pretty sure he pitched last year for the Pirates.
this guy on the list, Rich Hill?
Yes.
Really?
Dick Mountain himself. And not only that, this blew my mind. So that was already crazy. This is a tangent here, but he had a 10.4 K per 9 from his age 35 to 40 season. That absolutely rocked my world when I saw that.
Wait, over a 5-year span, he had a 10K per 9?
Rich Dick Mountain, 10.4 K per 9. Now, to be fair, it was in 500 innings. That was kind of... But the Dodgers pitching lab around that time was insane. I mean, they turned Alex Wood into like a number 2 starter. Crazy stuff going on.
Wow, I knew Mr. Mountain over there was doing well, but I did not know he had that kind of strikeout stuff.
Yeah.
No wonder he's still an active.
Yeah, that's the number he just gave them. So, getting back to topic, I think if Chris Sale is able to maintain a 160 ERA plus, which by the way, right now it's 163. It's hard. It's going to be difficult. I'm not saying this is easy. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest pitchers going on the greatest run of his life here. But I think if Chris Sale can be in the same neighborhood as him, I would safely say he is the next Randy Johnson in that aspect.
Well, yeah. Right now, I think now that you've started talking, I remember how this conversation started. I was looking at age 35 seasons, and I'm like, wow, Charlie Morton's actually 5 years older than Chris Sale. And if you look at Charlie Morton, he's had a weird career in and of itself, where he was terrible for the Pirates, but they kept letting him pitch. Then he pitched 5 games for the Phillies, and he was okay. And then the Houston Astros cheating lab saw that and went, hey, we can fix that. And they really changed his whole career. When Charlie Morton was with the Rays that first season was his age 35 season, which is Chris Sale's age right now. And he finished 3rd in Cy Young voting. He was a really good pitcher. And that's how that started up. And I was like, hey, I think Chris Sale could kind of have like a Charlie Morton career arc if he can stay healthy. And you're like, I'll one-up you on that one.
Yeah.
What about Randy Johnson? And I went, oh, I think you're right too. That's a bold prediction, but I can't not watch Chris Sale pitch. Like on when was he pitching? Monday?
Tuesday.
I was out. I was getting dinner, and then I was coming home, and I was with a friend, and I'd watch the Braves hit here and there because that's kind of my thing, and then I'd turn it off, and then I'd be like, wait, I can't do that. I have to see Chris Sale throw 95 mile an hour fastball, 95 mile an hour fastball, 76 mile an hour slider. Just impossible to hit.
Yeah, he was throwing 73, 72 mile per hour sliders on Tuesday night, and that absolutely blew my mind.
It's
I was
he
at
has a yo-yo on that ball. It is so fun to watch.
Yeah. His changeup is actually looking pretty good. He's throwing it to both lefties and righties now. I mean, he's starting to throw it to righties a little bit more, but no, I mean it is a joy to watch this man pitch. And when the Braves traded for him, we were I want to say optimistic, as if I think the entire taking the temperature of the fan base as a whole, we were all very excited about it, but we more saw him as, oh yeah, he's going to be a number 3 starter. He's going to give us rotation depth during the postseason. We didn't think that he could actually place top 5 in Cy Young, which I feel foolish not saying that earlier because, again, this was one of the best pitchers in the league for, from 2016 to 2018. And I know that was kind of a long time ago at this point, but that was always in him. That was always who he was.
I was bolder with the predictions when he got acquired, because I know there were some people on the fan base who were really negative. Like, Vaughn Grissom is a good piece to give up, and you're trading him for a pitcher who might be past his prime. But man, I should have been way bolder. I should have liked that trade way more, because he's essentially filled the void that Spencer Strider not pitching this year has left.
Yeah.
I tune in to see Chris Sale every start because I'm like, something special might happen.
Yeah.
He's not gonna pitch 9 innings probably, but he's gonna have some exciting strikeouts. He's gonna make some of your best hitters in baseball look foolish.
Yeah. Seiya Suzuki.
Who was he facing? Seiya Suzuki, yeah. Where Seiya Suzuki's a very good hitter. He's not gonna knock your socks off like Aaron Judge, but he's a solid hitter. I haven't seen a hitter take a worse swing in my life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so much fun to watch, and yeah, I think dreaming of him being the next Randy Johnson. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but every time I watch him, I'm like, this is what it must have been like watching Randy Johnson pitch in 2001, 1999, 2000,
Yeah.
whatever.
And
I
again,
only saw Randy Johnson's latter end, you know.
yeah, and again, I mean, this is just the beginning. I mean, this is just him getting started too. Also, you're a jersey number kind of guy, 51. He's wearing it in honor of Randy Johnson. It lines up. It lines up so perfectly. And like I said, there's going to be stretches where Chris Sale is probably going to hit the Phantom IL if MLB allows it, and we'll see how
I've changed
fallout.
my mind on the injury thing. I thought the Braves were gonna handicap him like no more than 5 innings, 80 pitches for the beginning.
He's been consistently going 7,
like
yeah,
6 or 7. He's hitting 90, 100 pitches. I think he has kind of that mentality where he's like, I feel good, I feel great, let me do my stuff. Like he doesn't want to have the handcuffs on him. And I think the Braves' philosophy, too, is they're just going to let it ride. They did the same thing with Strider his rookie year, where they're like, okay, you're dominant, you're pitching well, you say you feel good, we'll shut you down if you don't feel well, which they did at the end of that 2022 season. But that oblique injury that knocked Strider out for the last 3 seasons, that was a legit injury.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that workload would have changed.
Also, too, we probably won't get into it too much on this episode, but down the line we'll cover it in greater detail. But something I've noticed Braves pitchers doing is runners empty. We've seen Chris Sale throw a 92-mile-per-hour fastball with nobody on in low leverage situations. As soon as somebody gets on base, or as soon as he's facing, I would say a more competitive hitter, then he ups it to 95, 96, and it seems like that's been a organization-wide philosophy that they've been adopting. Reynaldo Lopez has been doing it too, where like we know he can touch 97, but he's averaging like 94 on his fastball right now, like something way, way less. And obviously that's another just going from the bullpen to the starting rotation, but it is something to keep an eye on. Braves fans, just you'll notice, if you see Max Fried or somebody throw low 90s, like don't get too concerned. It's probably on purpose.
Yeah, I mean Max Fried's been doing that for years now. At first when he started doing that, I was a little concerned, but now I'm like, yeah, I don't even look at the radar gun with Fried pitching.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I have for Chris Sale. If you think that's a ridiculous take and that nobody's going to come close to Randy Johnson, I get it. Randy Johnson's awesome. He's my favorite pitcher of all time. So, when I'm very serious when I say this. I mean, it's like clickbait, but hey, you know what? I got the numbers to back it up.
I mean, I believe it. I was looking so much more conservatively when I was trying to find a Chris Sale comparison. I mean, Charlie Morton, he's on my list for later, but he's not a slouch to compare to. But then you pull up the Randy Johnson numbers and you're like, oh, this actually compares to. Which,
yeah. It's going to be tough. Again, it's going to be tough. And, again, we are 8 starts into this great season. A lot can change, but it is something to keep an eye on. And it's something that I look forward to Chris Sale. I look forward to Chris Sale pitching every 5 days.
Yeah, it's one of the best things to ever happen.
So that's my good. That's my only great good.
A great and a good. These are going to go fast. My grade is just, Austin Riley got injured. We made some weird trades a few days ago. This guy named Zach Short, never heard of him. I confused him with another Zach. I was like, who is this guy? And then a game after being acquired, Riley injures himself. And this guy who got acquired didn't expect to play that much. Zach Short fills in, and he's been really good. He's not going to keep this up. But, man, he walks a lot. He gets on base.
Yeah.
27.8% walk rate with the Braves. Hey, you're filling in. You're a backup. You don't know what you're going to do. If you can do this on a backup level without like the expectation to play that much, I'm very pleased with it. He's done exactly what he needed to do with Riley out. And it's like this indefinite amount of time that he's having to play. So he's going in. He doesn't know every day when he comes into the clubhouse, whether he's playing or not. He comes in, sees his name on the lineup card. He goes up to the plate, sees 6 pitches, and doesn't swing at a single pitch out of the zone and takes his base. It's awesome.
Whenever you have somebody come in filling in for an injury, there's really 3 true outcomes. You're either a +1, I think of like Cody Bellinger in 2017 when he filled in for Adrian Gonzalez, who was hurt. That's actually why he was called up originally. You just go off. You play much better than the guy you're actually replacing. You could be a 0, which is just, you go in, you play solid defense, you're not a boon on the lineup. And then a -1, which is just you're awful defensively. You're striking out all the time or grounded double plays. You are like every time your turn passes on the lineup, like you are hitting into an out. Zach Short's been a solid 0. He's been a very solid 0. I think he's batting like still hitting like 400.
He's
it's
hitting like 400 with the Braves.
Yeah, it's like 10 at bats, but again, like you said, like a 500 something.
It's only 10
OBP.
at bats because in the other 10 plate appearances he's drawn a walk.
Yeah, exactly. So come up with some big hits, and it still sucks not seeing Austin Riley's name in the lineup. And I don't know if you saw they released tonight's lineup, still out, which is a little concerning. I
feel like they should have just placed him on the IL.
I'm surprised they haven't already.
Who is probably under investigation and might get suspended for life.
Yeah, give him his one last ride. We should have we should have like a whole David Fletcher farewell game, like his last game, Major League uniform before he
parlay like the betting line, have some things that we can bet on.
We have David Fletcher bobblehead, the whole like David Wright final game, where we pause the gameplay and we have like a video montage on the screen, and it's just like his entire Braves highlights. It's like the one hit he got for us,
and the few defensive plays. And
the
knuckleball, the stripers. Hey, Alex Anthopoulos, we have a suggestion for you and. Braves marketing.
That would be great.
You can have that for free.
Yeah.
And then
you can bet on it.
Yeah, you can bet on it. That's pretty good. And then my good for this week. Bad timing. Charlie Morton decided to have the worst start of the season. But I was watching Morton pitch, and I just feel like, man, I've really underrated this guy. He's come over from to the Braves in 2021. He's pitched. This is his 4th season. This is his 5th season with the Braves overall. But we forget about that rookie year. He's pitched 3 full seasons for the Braves. He's in his 4th season. He's never started fewer than 30 games. His worst ERA was 4.34. Last year it was 3-something. This year it's 3.50. And I think I personally kind of take him for granted, where I just expect him, to go out, strike out 7 or 8 batters, hit a few batters on the foot, allow a couple of runs in that one bad inning, and then leave the game in the 6th or 7th with the Braves up by 1 or 2.
Yeah, the 5 innings, 3 earned run is allowed start.
Yeah.
Not quite a quality start, but
technically
you still take it.
Runs. He goes out and he does his job, and I think most teams would die to have that kind of consistency out of your 3rd or 4th best pitcher, depending on, when he's in the rotation. And Braves fans, we kind of just take him for granted. He goes out and you're like, oh, man, he's 40 years old. He shouldn't be pitching still. He always hits batters on the foot. But, the results don't lie. His ERA and his FIP are pretty much in line with each other, and I don't care that he hits that many lefties on the back foot.
Why doesn't he throw the sinker anymore? Why doesn't he throw the sinker? Oh, it's his best pitch.
Maybe he should go for more ground balls.
Yeah. Stop striking them out.
His nickname is Ground Chuck because the Pirates really wanted him to throw sinkers and get ground balls, and he sucked that way. And then the Astros were like, "Hey, you have a really devastating fastball. He's now strike out more batters."
He's now blow it by you, Chuck.
Yeah,
it's not sketchy.
That's all. I just I've had this epiphany that, man, I've really taken Charlie for granted for the past 3 or 4 seasons. He's really solid. He might be a number 2 on some postseason teams. He's kind of in the background on this team. He just kind of goes out, throws 5, 6, 7 innings, does his stuff, goes home, and we forget he exists.
Yeah.
Um,
You were telling me too, and I felt the same way, that 2022 soured your perception on him a bit. And it's funny because, we think of, I swear to God, I'm not trying to compare Charlie Morton to Ronald Acuna Jr., but here I am. We kind of forget that Charlie Morton broke his leg in 2021 because it happened in the, sixth to final game of the season. But that's not an easy injury, especially for a guy of his age to come back from. And yeah, I mean, he didn't look great. And, he had some bad, fly ball home run luck. I mean, he was really struggling with the home run ball that year. But yeah, I mean, he came back last year, had a really solid season, and he's been solid again this year. And again, it's nothing flashy. It's nothing that's going to make, I was going to say SportsCenter highlights, but it's outdated. Those guys are not relevant anymore.
But he is going to make Pitching Ninja. That's the thing.
You could, yeah. He still has
that gets those weird swings. I don't go into Charlie Morton starts like I do Chris Sale. Like, I go in excited for Chris Sale starts. I go in like, oh, Charlie Morton's on the mound. Okay. And I think that's another thing. He's just been so unassuming. Yeah. It's not like one of the AAA arms coming up to start where it's like Darius Fines or Alan Winans where you're not sure what you're going to get, or like a Bryce Elder where you're like, if he walks 2 batters in the first inning, I'm going to be miserable tonight, and if he doesn't, maybe it's going to be okay. He has one bad inning every start.
Yeah.
And then he figures it out, and he normally gives the Braves a chance to win every night.
To quote the best color commentator in the sport, Jeff Francoeur, he gives you a chance to win every time he's on the mound.
Except
on
this week
on Wednesday. Yeah, everybody gets their bad start. The Cubs were coming off from being shut out twice. I mean, they were basically fighting for their lives up there.
They were due.
Cool. So moving on, I just have one. Well, I have one bad. I want to just quickly go over. AJ Minter in the 9th inning. So in Seattle, Max Fried, Monday night game, almost pitches a perfect game, and not perfect game. Sorry, no hitter. Joe Jimenez. We know the story. Joe Jimenez allowed some hits. We go in up 1-0. Minter allows Jorge Polanco to go on with a single, and then basically just puts a cutter right over the plate to Mitch Garver, and he hits it like 550 feet. Last Sunday Night Baseball against the Mets, Minter comes in to close in the 9th inning. Iglesias is not available because he pitched like the last, felt like every night he was pitching that week, but comes in and subsequently gives up a bunt single to Jeff McNeil, and we are up, I think that game was 3-2. Gives up a bunt single to Jeff McNeil. Thomas Nido bunts him over, and AJ Minter subsequently puts a cutter over the plate against Brandon Nimmo, this time a lefty. He hits it about like 450 feet. AJ Minter's not been great in the 9th inning, and that's sort of concerning. I know obviously Iglesias is our closer, but during the course of the season, you are just going to need a guy who can close games out when Iglesias is not available. I don't know if Minter is that guy. I don't know if it's just circumstantial or like some pitchers talk about this, some relief pitchers talk about this. It does feel different coming in the 9th inning. I mean, you're getting the last 3 outs, and it seems like Minter is getting ahead of himself a lot more. It seems like he's getting more frustrated with himself in the 9th inning. And he's just not making the pitches that we are normally used to him making. He had a really, I would say, an interesting quote after the walk-off loss to the Mets, basically saying, hey, my game is to attack hitters head on. I don't nibble corners. I blow it by them. He says, you can always make a better pitch, but I'm not a pitcher where I'm going to work the edges. I'm going to attack hitters and rely on my stuff. And if I get beat at the end of the day, I get beat. That's what happened again, unfortunately. So one thing, I love Minter for just owning up to the fact that he has not been good in those situations. I don't know if it's just like a proximity bias, but it kind of reminds me of Luke Jackson's quote from 2021 when he completely sucked against the Dodgers, and that's not being me being mean, because that's literally what he said. Like, I sucked against the Dodgers. But I just want to note that something to also keep an eye on. Pierce Johnson is coming back from the IL. He might have even been activated today.
He was activated yesterday.
Oh, he was. They just okay, but they were, because I know they said something like he wasn't activated. They were going to activate on Friday, then they pushed it back. I didn't see it yesterday. I was recording demos all yesterday, but that's good. That's good. So we'll see. I would be surprised if I saw Minter come into a save situation, at least a close save situation like that, in the next
I just don't get
couple
it.
of weeks.
He's such a good pitcher
Yeah.
outside the ninth inning. And this is like a career-long thing. People have gone back. I did this, and then someone, I realized, posted it 10 minutes before I finished doing the math.
Wow. I can't
Felt
believe you
really
plagiarized.
I couldn't believe it either. He has like a 4.62 ERA in the ninth inning in his career, and then like a 2.85 ERA in any other inning for his entire career. And it's like, he's pitched since 2017. He was supposed to be the Braves' next closer, and it didn't work out because he sucked in 2018, 2019, one of those years. There's something about the ninth inning. I used to believe that, like, save opportunities really didn't matter. You just need to put out your best pitcher.
I still think they're overrated, but I do agree that there are certain pitchers who just aren't suited for that situation. And also, to give AJ Minter the benefit of the doubt, he had a 1-run lead each time. That is not an easy situation to come into. 1-run lead where the opposing team's offense is ready to put everything on the line. And I'm not trying to excuse, those are games we should have won, but that is a difficult situation, especially if you're not accustomed to coming into the ninth inning.
Yeah, I feel like on one hand, it's good for Braves fans in the front office, because now teams are going to look at his clutch. And I do think there are still some teams who evaluate that.
Oh, yeah, especially for relievers.
And they'll pay for saves. They will pay for saves, and he's not going to get that money, so he's going to be cheaper for the Braves. But on the other hand, I just want the best version of Minter. I don't really care about saves either.
Yeah.
But, man, he just need... And you're right. It's a 1-run lead.
Yeah,
and
both games were on the road. Yeah.
They can win it with one swing, and it's a tough thing. But he does have the worst WAR on the team right now. His FIP is horrible because of all the home runs he keeps allowing, and it's all because of his inability to get it done in the ninth inning. He'll get over it.
Yeah, let's have Jesse Chavez come in the ninth. Let's get crazy with it.
Jesse Chavez has had a weird year this year. I'm kind of worried.
Two ERA play. That's all I saw. I didn't do like a deep dive or anything.
FIP, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, strikeouts aren't really his game.
He had a higher K rate than Garrett Cole in 2023. I will die on that hill.
Like a bunch of pitchers had a higher K rate than Garrett Cole that season.
It was still better than 9K or 9Ks. 9.
Jesse had like one blow up really bad meltdown appearance. Yeah. That's why I try to be easy towards relievers this early in the season. I think if it's like, June and he's like way outperforming his numbers, and I'm going to say
way outperforming his numbers.
His entire career, baby, that's just Jesse's game.
I don't know. I feel like his time with the Braves, this is the first time like he's really overperformed his FIP.
God, it's so
anyway,
funny. It's my favorite thing.
I have a bad take that I feel like this player is doing badly, and it makes me sad. We came into this season with a bold prediction that Michael Harris could be an MVP candidate. He is not right now. And it's because he cannot stop swinging at balls out of the zone. He has a 48.5% chase rate right now. And the worst thing is that he is not whiffing when he swings out of the zone. You might ask, why is that a bad thing? Doesn't that mean he's not striking out and putting the ball in play? Yes, it does. But you know what that means?
He's putting the ball in play.
Grounders in play.
Yeah.
Right into outs. He has a 63.7% contact rate on pitches out of the zone. That is really high. He has a 127 batting average on balls out of the zone. It's killing him.
Yeah.
He's not taking walks because of it, and then he's preventing himself from getting better pitches to hit, which those pitches he crushes. Michael, all we're asking is just one game. Pretend you're Miguel Vargas, spring training 2023. Walk up there and go, I will not move. I will not take this bat off my shoulder until I see 3 pitches. I might be walking back to the dugout after those 3 pitches. I might be up in the count 3-0, and then I can take my little stroll to first, or I get a meatball in the middle of the plate that I crush. Just one game. See what happens. I don't know. I hear a rumor that someone might or might not be doing a Javi Baez video. And if that video does come out, maybe look at that as kind of the ghost of Christmas future or whatever it's called.
Maybe past.
That doesn't sound right.
Ghost
of Christmas.
I feel like Michael Harris
future.
Michael Harris could be the ghost of Christmas future because it's his career that's at stake.
Yeah, so he sees that video as like what could be his future, where instead of Javi Baez, that is how Michael Harris stopped being an elite player, and it's just mirrored shot of Javi Baez. Instead of swinging at pitches in the left-hand batter's box, it's swinging at sliders in the right-hand batter's box. Anyway, it is a good thing that you're left-handed. You're still great. We love you.
Just a little less. Yeah. My worst nightmare. Well, my worst nightmare is that if they start platooning Michael Harris with Adam Duvall, or if they have a situation where they start sitting Michael Harris against lefties. But yeah, Mitchell's right. You're such a good hitter. I mean, I don't want to say your bat speed's insane because now there's numbers that probably say they're not as insane. They're more good, but we know you're a good hitter, Michael.
You could be the next Ken Griffey Jr.
You could. Just stop swinging at those damn curveballs, low and inside, and those fastballs up and away. If you stop swinging those 2 pitches, you would be the best hitter not only on the team, in the whole league. It's that easy. Anyway,
Ronald Acuna Jr. 2023 version would be coming up to you going, how do you do this?
Yeah.
How are you this good?
Anyway, we have less than a minute on this time. Me and Mitchell both have one entry in the ugly category, so you don't want to miss it. You're going to hear a very epic rant from one of us. Not going to say who it is, but do not go anywhere. Stay where you are. We'll be right back after these short messages. I don't know the
from
break.
Our non-sponsors.
You've seen BravesKast before. You know how we do it. And we are back on BravesKast, this special episode where the Braves still have 3 games left in their current series. We are moving on to Braves fans' least favorite part of the show and non-Braves fans' favorite part of the show, part that they probably skip to, especially the ones who started following us at the conclusion of the NLDS last year. This is the ugly. We didn't have a clever name for it this time. Sue us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. But Mitchell, we'll start with you, just because mine is very pointed and might get a little bit messy.
Yeah. So last year and the year before and the year before that, I was like, man, how lucky am I that the team that I chose to pull for as a child. I'm not from Georgia. I'm from the South technically, but I'm in this
Braves country.
Weird area where I could have picked any team.
Could have been a Nationals fan.
Could have been a Nationals fan had they existed before I started getting into baseball. Could have been a Reds fan. They were televised in my area. Thank God I'm not a Reds fan. God.
They got Ellie.
Yeah, but just all of those years.
Everything
beforehand.
else, everything
And I
else.
also don't like the color red that much. Anyway, I was very satisfied that the team I chose to pull for as a 6-year-old had developed my favorite philosophy of ball go boom, score a bunch of runs, hit home runs. What luck! I like of all the teams I could have pulled for the Royals, and that would have just been hell. I picked the Braves. Great. This year they started off doing their thing, hitting home runs, scoring runs. I have this tweet from Buster only saying for their first 24 games they were scoring 6 runs a game. Since April 27th, do you know how many times they've scored 6 runs or more?
Oh wait, once. Sorry, April 27th. I thought you said. I thought you were counting the April 27th game because I
Past that.
You know what's funny? I was at both games. I was at both the last 2 games. They scored 6 or more runs. Both of them were Chris Sale starts too.
Dude.
But I should go to every game. I should go to every home game now. That's what's missing. You know, they see me in the stands. They're like, oh, that guy up there.
They look up
we're
to
doing
section
this for
whatever
him.
you're in. The
Mr.
section
No
where
More
you get in.
Fielders with his 19,000 subscribers. This
That guy
is who we're
talked
doing
to
it
Spencer
for.
that one time about music. That musician baseball.
Whenever
YouTuber.
he's in this with the crowd, for some reason we just see the ball better. Yeah, that's the secret sauce. The whole time, you got me.
You're not gonna go to the game tonight.
Nope.
You could easily go to the game.
I
tonight. You
might.
could
I
save
might.
the Braves season.
I could. Yeah, especially with Bryce Halter starting. I might go to tomorrow's matinee game, and I will if they score more than 6 runs tomorrow. If I go to the game, I'm gonna have to actually talk to somebody from the Braves and arrange anything for me to go to home games so they could, get back to business as usual.
Yeah, I mean, Cole, I don't even need to be doing the segment. You just haven't been to enough games lately.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the last 2 games. Well, okay, the Guardians game was in the middle there, but the last 2 out of 3 games I went to, third to last was the Travis d'Arnaud 3-homer game, and then the last was Matt Olson's. Well, not his first homer, but his first home run since like the beginning of April.
Braves fans, we have this guy who is just preventing the Braves from doing their thing. I bet if you had gone to all of the playoff games in 2022 and 2023, made the trip up to Philly, we wouldn't have had these nightmares.
The only 2 playoff games they've won in the last 2 years were both the 2 games that I attended. So maybe there is something there. Maybe it's like angels in the outfield. You can't explain it. It's otherworldly. It's a little bit above us, above our grasp of human existence. But for whatever reason in the cosmos, whenever I'm at Braves games, they happen to do better. Like maybe
we could be the first team to go 81-0 at home, but some lazy bum is trying to be a musician. Yeah, I guess you're not trying to be. You've got a band. You're in a band.
Yeah,
you tour.
Still trying.
Still trying. Musician.
Still trying.
You're a musician.
Yeah, still trying. My day job is still technically YouTube, which I'm not complaining about. It is an awesome day job. Even if I have to eat ramen a lot, but you know what? It's all fun. It's a great life. But hey, if anybody has a season ticket package that they want to help the team out for the cause, I would gladly take it.
Good, man.
Yeah, I would go to a lot more games, that's for sure. But yeah, 3 runs a game.
Because Cole won't go to games, the Braves are only scoring 3 runs a game because he is making music, making YouTube videos for your enjoyment instead of helping out the team like a true team player would.
I should be blooper. I think that's the conclusion I've come to here. If I was,
you think you could be a better blooper than blooper?
I would no. I would be at every home game. I would be paid to be there, and I like that. They would pay my bills, and the Braves would win every game and score like 20 runs
part of
per game.
Blooper's security, at least.
That is a weird. He has too much security. This is a
Hey,
a
he
side
has a
rant.
lot of haters. He's got a
Every
lot of
time I'm
haters.
around Blooper, he has like 5 people around him. He doesn't need that much security.
He's
Are you
got
kidding?
haters. There are
Like,
haters out there. You
like
gotta just.
we can't pay. Well, I was gonna say we can't pay. But like we can't pay. We can't extend Max Fried, but we can pay for Blooper to have 5 full-time people on on security on his detail. Like, come on. I know that's apples to oranges, but come on. Like, let's maybe balance our budget a little bit better here. Let's really
Baseball YouTuber calls for cutting jobs of working class people to support rich millionaire.
to support Max Fried specifically. Anyway, offense has
3
been
runs
bad.
a game just because of Cole being.
My joke for the last month now has literally been, I can't believe we turned into a pitching and defense team overnight. What does the world come to? Because literally our infield defense, minus Ozzy Albies, has been great. Austin Riley is now a plus defender. Awesome. Orlando Arcia is the best shortstop in all of baseball, at least according to Outs Above Average. Ozzy Albies
Dansby
and Matt
Swanson,
Olson.
who?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Come on. He couldn't even show his face during the series. Knee problem. Come on, Dansby. You're 29 years old. You shouldn't be having knee problems at your age. Matt Olson's been good too, and then obviously Kelnick has been one of the best defensive left fielders. Michael Harris. We've become a pitching and defense team overnight. We have a bunch of really great defenders who can't hit the ball anymore. We're like the 2015 Royals.
Oh my God.
Mitchell's favorite
Hey,
team.
they won the World Series, so.
Mitchell's favorite team, the 2015 Royals.
Braves, I'm just asking, we can't have our pitchers continue to be the next Randy Johnson forever. Maybe we can. I just want to see 2 home runs a game. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, where like a 1-run deficit, or really a 3-run deficit didn't feel like too much. Like if we're down 3 runs last year, if we're down 3 runs going to the 7th inning, like we have a shot. It's like, okay, we have an offense that can score runs and muches. Now, if we go into a 1-run deficit going into the 7th inning, I'm like, okay, game over. Like we're not coming back.
I was at the movies the other night, Friday night.
That game sucked.
Needed to get out.
Yeah.
Glad I missed it. It was towards the end of the movie. I was like, oh, maybe I should just check the score on my watch. It won't be too disruptive. We're in the back row anyway. 3-1 Padres in the 8th. I'm like, oh man, that's another loss.
Yep.
Braves.
Yep.
I didn't used to think that way.
Yeah.
I used to be like 3-1. Man, this is going to be an exciting walk-off.
What was so frustrating about that game too, I know we try not to focus on individual games. This year we're trying not to do that. They scored in the first inning. Acuna got a rifle to single to center field. Okay, that's a familiar sight. Yeah, I remember that last year. Happened like every game, it seemed like. Ozzy Albies roped a double down the right field line. Okay, yeah, that's Ozzy Albies. We know and love. Scored 1 run. I think it was a Matt Olson RBI single.
So Matt Olson singled, and then Ozzy forgot how to run the bases.
Oh well, that was a tough play.
He was going back when the fielder didn't have a play on the ball.
It was raining out.
He could have stuck. He could have been like,
he
I missed
probably
the chance. I'm gonna stay at
something in his eye. He was like, where's Ron? Why isn't Ron? Why isn't he waving
Ron's
me?
too busy throwing his players under the bus.
Yeah, throwing former Braves under the bus too.
Yeah, Braves legend Luis Guillorme.
Yeah.
I can't believe Wash did that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh man.
That was bad.
Anyway,
all of those years on the Braves, and Ron Washington goes, bunting is actually good. The Braves never did that, and we won all the time, but bunting is the way to go.
It's been a minute since I've seen a manager gaslight his player the way that he did. Like, oh, well,
I know Freddie used to do that. Gonzalez, not the other.
I was like, well, I mean, Freddie used to gaslight teammates, but that's another story. Anyway.
Speaking of teammates, Freddie used to gaslight.
What's up?
Speaking of teammates, Freddie used to gaslight.
Yeah. We're gonna end on this segment. I want everybody to be aware. y'all are gonna see a side of me that y'all don't. Not many people see. I don't like bringing it out, but the last 2 out of 3 games I've been to, both games where they happen to score 7 runs, I've heard the same conversation said by 2 different strangers, and it's that Ronald Acuna Jr. doesn't hustle and that he's lazy. 2 times. And again, I'm not trying to eavesdrop on people. I just, you're at the ballpark, just hear conversations that are occurring. Last game almost was a tipping point for me. We were sitting in general admission, which, by the way, general admission is kind of a cheat code. We paid, after fees, $15 per ticket. And you think about it, I wouldn't do this on a Friday or Saturday, like a weekend game, but go to a Wednesday night game, pay $15. You can see from up there, like, which sections are mostly empty. And if there's like an usher there who's, watching with their spot, you can move. So you basically pay $15 and you can sit in the outfield, the 200 section. So you're basically paying $15 for what could be upwards of like $100 tickets. Kind of a steal. I know I'm not factoring in parking or, if you decided at the ballpark, but I will say this, for legal reasons, I can't say exactly what I'm doing, but first person to email me about it at nomorefielders@gmail.com, I will show you a way where you can get past, the parking situation. First person. Anyway, so I was sitting in general admission, and, Braves are up 7-0. I mean, we're absolutely rocking the lowly Chicago Cubs. And there's a guy behind us who is talking to his friends, and Ronald Acuna Jr. grounds out, again, 7-run lead. He's been told by his management, he's been told by everybody, if you don't need to, do not go 100%. We want you for the entire season. We don't want you to get hurt. And, grounds out, kind of just jogs it over, and person behind me is telling his friends, oh my God, Acuna, he doesn't hustle. He's lazy. He doesn't care about this team. If you are like this person and you complain about Acuna not hustling, you're a fucking ass clown. You're a absolute piece of shit, and I hate you with every fiber of my being. If I hear one more fucking person complain about Acuna's lack of hustle, I will call your ass out. I don't care where I am. I don't care if we are at a 5-star establishment. I don't care if we are at a nice hotel. I don't even care where we are. I will call you out for the piece of filth that you are. This man tore his ACL in 2021. I bet you do not even know like half of the pain that he experienced when that happened. And he comes back, isn't great. I mean, almost a career-ending injury. Let's be honest. Almost a career-ending injury. I mean, you don't even understand the process it took for him to get back on the field, and you're going to complain that he doesn't run out a ground ball up 7 runs with nobody on? Like, this is absolutely, like, what are we doing here, guys? He was last year's MVP. He puts his soul on the field every time he goes out. He puts his heart and soul on the field every time he goes out. And you're gonna call him lazy because he's not gonna run out a lazy grounder. Pardon my language. Or because he takes it easy when literally he's been told by his management. Snitker has told him. I was gonna say Ron Washington, but like everybody's told him, hey, if the game is not on the line, take it easy. I don't know if you even remember before the knee injury in 2021, where like every other week we had a scare because he would literally try to sprint out every single ground ball. I don't know if you remember 2018 when he hyperextended his knee trying to sprint out a ground ball. Yeah. And look, you can say, and we've said this before, I do miss the old Acuna. I do miss when he was able to do that, which is different because I miss that too. Acuna misses that. I bet he would tell you he misses the times where he was able to sprint out ground balls. But to call him lazy, to say he doesn't care for this team because I'm repeating myself here, but because he doesn't run out a ground ball in a meaningless situation. Are you kidding me? So I was trying to find ways to really okay. I was trying to find ways to like really get under the skin of Braves fans who do this. And look, I can call you an ass clown. I could call you an urchin. I can call you a lowlife. I could call you a loser, which is all true. All these words are true. But they're just kind of meaningless. Like you can call anybody a loser. So I was trying to think of something that would really get under the skin of Braves fans specifically. And I'm going to say it. You sound like a fucking Mets fan. An ungrateful... You sound like I don't want to say that word.
I mean, it's fair. They're mad Mets fans right now. They keep bitching about Francisco Lindor.
Yeah. Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Edwin Diaz. Come on, man.
Yeah. You sound like a Mets fan. So
blew 2 bad games. Lindor is struggling a little bit. Those guys, I'd love to be on the Braves. I'd love those guys on the Braves. Mets fans are over there complaining. Mets fans probably feel the same way about Acuna. They see Braves fans over here being like, "Oh, he doesn't hustle."
Yeah,
they would love him on the Mets playing right field with his brother in second.
Yeah, Acuna is on a extremely team-friendly contract. He would give his life and limb to be a lifetime Brave. He has said that before. And you're gonna like think you're some fucking smart guy for noticing like, oh, whoa, he didn't run out that ground ball. Like, shut the fuck up. Anybody who does this, I hate you. I hate you with every fiber of my being. And if you know somebody, if you have a friend, which like I don't know why you'd be friends with somebody who says this, but you have a friend, a loved one, a family member, unfortunately, who has any point complained about Acuna's lack of hustle, slap them. Like seriously, you have all the permission from me to slap them in the face until they realize how much of a dumbass Mets fan wannabe they are. I'm sick of it. I'm actually sick of it. Like it's getting ridiculous. Braves fans, stop. Like seriously, stop. Okay? Like we've had enough. You're not funny. You're not insightful. I wish there was like the purge. I wish the purge could happen one day so we can throw you in a gravel pit and then, take you out afterwards. We don't want to, like, that's extreme. Like, I don't want to, hurt them, but I want to put them in a gravel pit and then, lift them out afterwards. So anyway, that's my rant of the day. I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. And if I have to hear one more person, I am going to actually like lose it on you.
To just play a little devil's advocate and then to not. I think one thing that is a little bit deceiving is because Acuna hits ground balls so hard, they get to the fielder so fast, and then by the time the fielder throws it over to first, and because Acuna's been told to take it easy, it really looks like he's barely made any progress. And I get it. It is deceiving, especially if you're watching on TV. Just he hits ground balls 105 miles an hour. They get to the fielder pretty quickly. Acuna is really good at gauging when he has a chance to get a single on balls like those. If he hits that ball right at a fielder, he knows like there's no shot. I'm running this out. This isn't 2021 anymore with Didi Gregorius fielding at short. He's hitting it right at guys who are very competent defensively. They could, walk 3 steps to first and throw it, and a hustling Acuna would still be out. But as a person who is watching on TV, I get it. It's a little deceiving. You see ball hit, fielder fields it, throws it to first, and he's nowhere close. And you think, hey, what would happen if he ran it out? Maybe it would put pressure on the defender. No. These guys are pros. Yeah. These are really good players. They make these throws in their sleep.
To me, as fun as it would be for pre-injury Acuna to challenge every fielder on a ground ball, that one out of every 50 ground balls hit where he does reach first just because he is gunning for it, in meaningless situations too. Like, if there was ever a situation where it's a big game situation and he doesn't try to run it out, then sure, maybe we do have a conversation there. But back to what I was saying, it's not worth it. The 1 out of every 50 ground balls in a largely meaningless situation to risk, possibly hyperextending a knee or obviously aggravating his injured knee. But it's a narrative. I don't know why it started. Well, I mean, I do know why it started, because obviously he was told by the team, hey, just don't sprint out every ground ball. If, the situation doesn't call for it, just, like, obviously he's still running, but, you don't have to sprint towards first base. And at some point, Braves fans, very dumb, ignorant Braves fans, got it in their heads that means he doesn't care. And that to me is the core of what's so frustrating about it, because, this is a once in a lifetime kind of player that we have. And you guys are tearing him down for the smallest thing without realizing why he's even doing it. Again, if, we start to see it where it's higher leverage situations and it looks like he's like clearly not trying to beat a throw that looks like he couldn't be, maybe we have a conversation, but I guarantee you he's not. I mean, that's not happening.
I haven't done this search, and if I'm wrong, you can call me out on it. But if you were to go to Baseball Savant, you would put in the batter Ronald Acuna Jr. You put in ground ball. You put exit velocity at 80 degrees or 80 miles an hour or less, and the launch angle at 5 degrees or lower, so -5 to -100 or whatever. And as long as that ball's not right back at the pitcher, I would wager that he is hustling those balls out, regardless of the score.
You're assuming that people who are complaining about Acuna's lack of hustle know how to use a computer, right?
Hey, I just told them how to go straight to Baseball Savant.
That's a pretty like big assumption, though, that they know how to use it
for the group that it overlaps, that they know how to
use anything besides Facebook. I don't know. I don't think. I think you're giving them way too much.
An article today published about Ozzie Albies' defense, because it is a little concerning, his defense. He used to be a Gold Glove type player, and now he's a bit of a liability.
Yeah.
And it got to Reddit, and I was reading those comments, and they were just like, what? No, this is such clickbait. People are concerned about the wrong issue. And I'm like, hey, I looked at the numbers. I watched every single ball hit Ozzie Albies' direction. I made some observations. I checked the numbers. And hey, I made a suggestion. It might be an easy, oversimplified suggestion, but I did the work. And this is not me saying that because Ozzie Albies' defense is not good, that the Braves are in trouble. But it's like, hey, his defense isn't good.
Yeah.
Same thing with Acuna. You have observation and people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. It's one thing to say, oh, it looks like, Acuna's taking it easy because of his, his tearing, he tore his ACL 3 years ago. It's one thing to notice it, to observe it. It's another thing to be like complaining and calling him lazy and saying he doesn't care about the team and being like, oh, if he really ran that ground ball, that 100-mile-per-hour ground ball right to the fielder out, he could have had a hit there, because the first baseman had to scoop it. Like, you're so dumb, dude. Anyway, I'm calling out some stupid sap who isn't even really worth like time of day. But it's the fact that it's happened twice now. It's a concerning trend. Anyway, I got to edit this podcast in time to watch tonight's Sunday night baseball game and hear Carl Ravage talk about the Braves for 3 hours. God, maybe I can skip this one. You know what? I like Carl Ravage. I'm actually people like to murk on the Braves or the ESPN broadcast, like Eddie Perez. I like them. David Cohn, he's a hoot. It's definitely a lot better.
Hoot and a holler.
Yeah, hoot and a holler. It's a lot better than the days of A-Rod. That was brutal. Not even Matt Vasgersian could save him.
A-Rod killed me as a broadcaster because I'm looking at this dude who should have been threatening the home run record had he not been an idiot. Talking about how people need to bunt.
Yeah.
I went back and I looked. Alex Rodriguez didn't bunt the last 15 years of his career,
As he should not have.
as he should have.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, Cole published a really good video about Trey Mancini around the 13-minute mark. I thought I was getting an ad read. Like the friend I was like, I'm going to watch the ad read. It wasn't an ad read. I almost cried. I think I did cry. Very good video. Should definitely check it out. I haven't made anything on I work in baseball content creation. This is my full-time job. It's very weird. So I haven't made anything on my channel, but I do sometimes write on House That Hank Built. And we will be back in 2 weeks. But definitely check out Cole's video on Trey Mancini. It is a very, very, very good video. I don't know.
Check out House That Hank Built whenever I am procrastinating on making those videos. That's one of the first websites I go to. This is a thing, people who know me personally know this, but I can't, like, literally physically cannot eat unless I'm reading like some form of like baseball article. It's really weird. But House That Hank Built's always one of my go-tos. So check out.
I should just like take my job and then outsource it to you
for
less money.
if I'm consuming, baseball articles, but House That Hank Built, Fangraphs. I still read ESPN articles. I know it's.
I mean, I do too. I do it for work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Schoenfield and the other guy they still have. I miss Sam Miller. He was one of my favorite writers on the platform. I also missed when Grant Brisbee wrote for what's now Secret Base. He writes for The Athletic. I can't stand The Athletic. We need a whole episode where we just talk about how much we do not like the Athletic Braves beat writers. I
mean, I thought you were talking about The Athletic as a whole. I get a lot of my information.
I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, I should have phrased that better, as I should for most things. But no, I'm just talking about more specifically the Braves beat writer. I do not like David O'Brien at all.
There are times I don't think of myself as a jealous person. Like I don't feel like I normally get jealous, but I'm looking at the Braves beat writer sometimes and I'm thinking, I feel like I could do their job. I don't think of myself as a great.
You are a better writer and researcher than David O'Brien, definitely. I mean, I know he's more kind of like, the daily beat writer. I think you're a better writer than Jeff Schultz too. I mean, those guys are so. I don't say old school because I mean, I don't want to say old school as an insult, but they just are so used to their ways because they know that their job security is like basically guaranteed. But oh my gosh, it leads to some of the most dry, uninterested writing I've ever had to bear through. So anyway,
thankfully Justin Toscano exists.
Justin Toscano is awesome. Yeah, I love Justin. He's awesome. We should have him on the podcast sometime. Maybe we reach out.
We should try to get him.
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero connections inside the Braves clubhouse.
Yeah. Well, I can't say what it is on here just for legal reasons, but I might have a small connection coming up soon. So anyway, that's all stuff that me and Mitchell need to talk about offline. So y'all enjoy your day.
Offline, hopefully, I need to go to Atlanta right now and we can talk about it in some shady cafe.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully the Braves win tonight, and Austin Riley tomorrow is healthy, and Zach Short's still taking his walks, and hopefully every person who listens to this has a friend who is unfortunately diagnosed with dead brain, or not dead brain, that sounds mean, who dumb brain, who thinks that Ronald Acuna Jr. is lazy, and they're able to, get those devils, get those demons out of them. Anyway, take it easy, everyone.
Bye.